Hi, my name is Keith. This is a series of videos about my understanding of everyday theology and how it informs and forms our lives. This first one is about my own spiritual journey. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channels. The channels I am developing are agency reviews for nonprofits, building success for personal growth, Get Healthy Now, and In the World, which is what this one is about for everyday theology. So, in 1974, back during the oil crisis, Richard Nixon's resignation after Watergate, the Vietnam War was coming to an end. During June of that year, I had graduated from high school and I was walking down along a road in Florida. And as I was walking, I stopped. I didn't want to take a step forward as I saw no future for myself. I didn't want to go back to where I was as I was escaping the life I was trapped in. One of seven kids living with their parents in a three-bedroom house. My oldest sister had already moved out. My parents had one room. The younger sister had one room. The rest of us slept where we could. We did not have hot water. The water heater was broken, never repaired. I was basically bullied and verbally abused regularly in the home and also at school. Unable to escape the home, I escaped inwardly. I stopped caring about my hygiene and my appearance. I grew out my long matted hair, wore headbands and beads, tattered bell bottom jeans, t shirts, flip flops. I became introverted and isolated. I spent many days away from the house. I had basically become a non hygienic hippie. Well, on that road, I'd stopped alongside. I was paralyzed by my situation. I saw no way out. I searched my soul for an answer and I couldn't find any. There was no God void to be filled or spark of the divine within me to be lit. I was contemplating my final escape. So while standing alongside the road, a car actually pulled off in front of me. The driver got out of his car and approached me. He stated that he had a job opportunity for me and me alone. He wanted me to show up at his house the next morning and begin doing yard work and house repairs to increase the value of his property during the following 3 months. He would show me how to use the tools and pay me minimum wage. And after giving me his address, he hopped in his car and he drove off. Remember how I looked, an unhygienic hippie. I was curious, so I did show up at his house the very next morning. So during the next 3 months, he taught me the skills I needed to transform his yard and home. Besides mowing, I trimmed, edged, did various landscaping projects for the house. I painted, caulked, various other uh, carpentry projects to increase its value. I arrived every morning, had lunch in his home, and left every evening to return back to my home. So, about halfway through the project, midsummer, while eating lunch in his home, he mentioned that he was thinking of going into some kind of religious work. I became defensive and quickly responded that I was not interested. There was a disconnect in my mind as my father was a lay leader at the local church, and I explained how the behavior was at home. He interrupted me though and said that he was going into the religious work and that he just needed my help in memorizing some scripture. All and I didn't have to say anything. All I had to do was let him know when he was correct, and that became our lunch ritual. At the end of that 3 months, he was able to sell the house at double the value that it was previously. He used that money to help him become a Baptist preacher and start a new church in another community. Initially, he asked me to go help with him with repairs on the property and church facilities. I did that for a short while, but finally decided that it was time for me to go another direction and search for my own future. For the first time in my life, I felt a sense of hope. I felt a sense that there might be a purpose for me to be. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that it was a new beginning. And basically, he conned me into the kingdom. So I did make the decision to pay my own way through college, no matter how many jobs I had to take. Instead of escaping inwardly, I decided to escape by getting my education. As a result, I did a 7-year program in 5.5 years. I did part of that getting my associate's degree, and then I got my bachelor's in social work, and then went on to Emory University to get my seminary education with my Master of Divinity. And like I said, that was a 7-year program in total, but I did that in 5.5 years. During those years, I did slide to the other extreme as a charismatic Christian, trying to impose my beliefs on others. I was initially started out as a part of the Tabernacle Church and Jamie Buckingham's home church ministry. I attended all those Jesus festivals of the 1970s in Orlando, and active member of the InterVarsity Christian Fellowship at FSU. I went full-fledged into the whole charismatic Christian ideology, and basically, was bought into that ultra-conservative influence. And it was not until I was serving as a missionary for the United Methodist Church with the Lakota in South Dakota that my views changed from being in mission to or for someone to being in mission with someone. It was my friends on the Peary Indian Council that had a major impact on my spiritual growth, changing my views from a linear view in terms of Christianity to a more holistic view. So the lesson I learned from that person who stopped his car alongside the road is that we need to accept people where they are, not where we think they should be. Being a charismatic Christian or Christian nationalist puts the focus on the messenger and not on the message. It's a selfish faith. Our job is not to convert people, but to accept them and to learn from them. My views have changed once again with the emergence of the cultic phrase, "Make America Great Again." I have a video that I will be sharing called "Great is Not Good." Greatness emphasizes the individual over others. Goodness emphasizes the needs of others over the individual. Whether you're a Christian or not, we need to work together to eliminate social justice and discrimination. The title of Christian means nothing if we do not practice goodness, mercy, and humility. It is good to be woke. Thank you. And again, I ask you to go ahead and click that like and subscribe. Have a great day.